Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and hope you're doing well. This is your first video on Thursday the 30th of December and it's a bit of a passion project. There's something I wanted to do for a little while and I've always been putting it off, but I want to make this right now. And this is a video all about Apocolypse. Apocolypse is an awakened ability. Essentially, it's a regeneration element to the champion and it really helps out from a questing platform and perspective. Apocolypse does not need to be awakened to be good and does massively help out mutants with the Horseman of Apocolypse ability. Now, why I felt compelled to make a video about this is that I don't think many people have made videos on this particular awakened ability, and it's actually one of my favorite awakened abilities because it allows the champion to go into a slumber and then further fights down the line pick up a huge amount of regeneration, which you might be thinking, well, Rich, is this 1,618 regen there off of a 20 signature 6-star rank 3. That ain't too great. But as you go on the different ranks and as well hype up the signatures when you're going up close to 200, which we'll be experimenting in this video, you can see that it's just a fun little added extra that really helps and saves health potions, especially with dealing some very kind of scuffy situations in some of the nodes that Command present us. Apocolypse's awakened or signature ability in a nutshell is that whilst you're fighting, say, one fight and say you lose a bit of health and then you go to the next 2 fights, you can then pick up a double stacked regeneration. Now you can just go, right, well, I'll put him into slumber, because basically it's a slumber, for one fight, and then the next fight I'll pick up, I don't know, a small amount of regen back. But it's always better to put him in slumber for 2 fights, mainly because the stack, which you can only stack up to 2, is more meatier, and especially more meatier further you go with adding more signatures to the champion. Now what we're going to do in this video is test out the 20 signature version that I have in Realm of Legends, and then we're going to try out a 200 signature rank 3 6-star version in Act 6.4.2. So let's talk a little bit more about the champion, let's talk a little bit more about the regeneration and see it in action. Now let's roll the footage, a little bit of Realm of Legends fight with a 20 signature. By the way, we do need to get hit. I can't really kind of showcase this if I don't get hit. So yeah, with Apocolypse, and just to speed it along, there we go, fight is nearly over. You can see that we're down to 81% health on Apocolypse. Then you've got to win 2 fights with him in slumber. So there we go, we'll do 2 fights with him in slumber. So there's the first one with Dr. Doom, just finishing off this Captain Marvel, and then Human Torch finishing off Juggernaut. And this means that we have then got this fight here. As the champion comes back, you can see the regeneration just topping up very nicely. This was a 20 signature 6-star version, which you can see the build up right there from 81% to 90%. It's always, you know, it is always great to see when you get that kind of regeneration build up. So yeah, that's that 20 signature. But you might be saying to yourself like, well, how does this build up? Does it build up more strongly the more signatures you add into it? Is it more fun? Is it more viable? Is it viable? Should I be awakening my 6-star Apocolypse? And for interesting info like this, always turn to Aunt May. So shout out to Aunt May, links in the description, you know, because we're using it right now. So out of curiosity and interest, this was the one that I was rocking in that particular test right now, and we'll do the 200 signature test in a moment. 1,618 health for each fight his teammate won while he's in slumber. This can stack up to 2 times, so it's 2 times 1,618. So what is that? That's 3,200 and something. So that's not too bad, but it isn't exactly great. Let's face it, for a lot of players, they're probably having a 5-star, 565, and getting to 200 signature is very, very possible. And I would say that's a good platform there, because obviously the 6-star... Now, I do have a 5-star version, but I do and am more invested in my 6-star rank 3 version than ever. 3,749 and 13 times 2, so let's just say that is going to be, what, 7,400. That do be a good amount of health. That do be a good amount of health. So that's something again to point out, is that you may want to go down the route of doing a an Apocolypse of 565, because it'd just be nice on the meaty take homes of health, and it's very handy for saving health potions, because that's the other thing as well. He saves health potions with the kind of 200 signature version. From a 6-star perspective, and I'm not going to go with a rank 5 because that's just like silly, because like no one has a rank 5. But like a rank 3 6-star, 4,830 at 200 signature. So it is a nice meaty amount, times 2 by the way. So what's that, 9,600? So it's 2,000 more health than the 5-star 565, but let's face it, you know, you're going to have the mean. Is every player at the perspective that it's more easier to get the 565 version? Of course it is. And I would say, like, I love Apocolypse's Awakened ability, but I don't say that it's something I overly recommend for players to go and Awakened. But, you know, if you want to save yourself a little bit of health potions, if you are rocking a mutant synergy, then hell yeah. Or you're rocking like a mutant team and you're doing a little bit of horseman, but at the same time you want to utilize Apocolypse for the regen aspect, then hell yeah, go for this guy. It is very, very fun. But let's kind of take out the 200 signature version in Act 6. 0.4.2, and that's a power shield and Bane, and just see like how that kind of helps. On screen right now is that in particular fight. Now Bane is really annoying, power shield is cool, but Bane is the most annoying, especially with how it ticks the damage. Now there are better champions to interact with. This is not a case of going like, oh, you should be using Spider-Ham, you should be using Namor, you should be using champions that deal with that degen. Yes, I know, but that's not the showcase right here. The showcase in particular is first of all finishing off the fight, which is a meaty amount of damage, and then we've got to win 2 more fights right then. So if you did clock the amount of health that we had back then, you can see that there was a substantial loss for that particular Apocolypse. That's 2 fights won, and now this is going into that particular final fight and seeing where we go for 59% all the way up to 83%. So you can just see, and we're going to slow it down, put it into the left hand corner, see that regen. It is beautiful, ticking at like look at that, 4.6k a time, but the regen build is just nice, and it is saving you those health potions if you are interested in taking this champion to a higher signature. And yeah, it's just a case of, like, as I said, this is just a really cool showcase of that regeneration ability. Why I do believe in it as a strong thing if you're building a team around Apocolypse, and why that is just really, really cool. That little regen ability is something of a hidden treasure about the champion. If you've got Suicide Masteries and you're going quest by quest into things and recoiling when it comes to throwing special attacks with Apocolypse, then you want to know that if you're going into the next fight, you're able to at least have some regen to then mitigate some of that damage from recoil. But if you don't run Suicide Masteries, and like myself, you like doing a lot of questing, then it's really handy to have that champion there that you can reduce the spend of health potions by going into some really key fights. In particular, saving the champion every 2 fights is pretty cool. So you'll go into the next fight just like topping up that regen. Make a mistake, but still win the fight and have your lovely Apocolypse on slumber, and then you're like, oh great, I've just topped up a hell of a lot of damage that I've taken in previous fights. Great invariance as well, especially with the quest narrative being there, as well as so many other different things. Realm of Legends, great example of being used in there, and I'm sure that there's other content, especially stuff that I've used in Act 6, Act 7 as well, that the champion excels at. But monthly questing as well, just a great little added extra, especially going up against end bosses and stuff like that. So yeah, this has just been a little passion project about regeneration ability and an awakened ability that I quite like about Apocolypse. What are your thoughts on the lovely Big Poco? And as well, would you be interested in awakening the champion? And do you like the signature ability, or do you not really care and you're more interested with how the champion functions in any case? But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to check out some other content located on screen, and we've got another little deep dive type video about another champion a bit later on today, so check that out. Cheers everybody, bye bye.